All right, we are ready to go. It is an immense pleasure to introduce Caroline Dowdle to tonight's masterclass. She has been fostering singers for many years in positions as a coach at the Royal Opera House Covent Garden, a professor at the Royal College of Music, the head of the opera program of the Verbier Festival Academy's Atelier Lyrique, the musical director of the Zamling Academy in England, and the Academy of French Song and Opera in France, a vocal coach with students of the Central Conservatoire in Beijing, a guest coach at the National Opera of Estonia in Tallinn, and at the Metropolitan Opera's Lindemann program in New York. She's had an illustrious career as a coach and music director. She has one of the most phenomenal sets of ears in the world, and her passion for free expressive singing infused with true emotion and rooted in the score is unparalleled. So we are very pleased to welcome her for her first session of the Masterclass for the Dramatic Voices program this year. Our first singer today is Alexandra Lang. Alexandra, if you could unmute yourself, let us know where you're from and what you'll be singing.
Hello, I'm Alexandra Lang, and I'm here in New York City, and I'll be singing Ich kann nicht sitzen with Mitchell Serker at the piano.
For my Alexandra, fantastic. First of all, I must say, lucky you. You've got a real pianist in the room with you.
I have a real pianist and he's
and
wonderful.
thank you so much, Mr. Real Pianist. It's a delight. It's a real help.
Yes.
It means, in fact, I want to use that because so few of you have got that. I want to use that wonderful gift because what you're doing is fantastic. I think we can find more colours and we can find more space in it. Between us, if we work out a couple of things. I have questions for you just to see what you feel about, but it's really great, super job. And also what I like is you look like you and you look honest as you sing. Very nice, very. I believe you as you do it. Super. If we can go from the beginning, I'm going to just talk a little bit with text and then putting together. It's hard with this pieces that one tends to learn it like a pianist, intervals one by one. Exactly. So that means we sometimes lose the overall implied kind of baby harmony underneath it. And once we've got that, we can start thinking in bigger blocks of the phrasing. That's all.
Sure.
So every now and then, if I'm a bit pedantic, forgive me. It'll be just for a good cause. To find
it's wonderful. I'm going to grab my score if that's okay. I'd love to.
Of course, please.
Thank you.
The first thing I think I would say is that Elektra has just said to you, why don't you just come and sit like me, basically?
Right.
So when you say, I can't sit in the dark and like you, it's a reply to someone. It's not just a thought that you've had on your own.
Right. Okay.
Of course, you're not given a lecture if you're doing this in any audition situation or are taking it as a concert aria, but still have this idea that you're responding to something. So we don't really get a downbeat. And I'm going to spell out the harmony for you. Here it goes. And then we get this. All of that belongs in one harmony.
Yes.
So in a way, I think we should lead all the way through to V-do. I don't know about you, but I asked myself, why does Strauss bother to give us a two beat bar in the middle of the 3 beat bars? And I'm wondering if it's so that you can be free and recitative like. So you can lead better to the V-do.
Sure. Okay.
You've cut your measure short.
Okay. Yes.
A lot of this, I think, that is basically for me recitative. Then you have this thought event that hits you on the head, which is you have the energy and inspiration to say that then and there. It's not. I think we shouldn't plan that, so that you could easily go on. We do, please won't you cheer up? Something. But instead, you jump to a new thought, which is what causes this huge change in the music and in the tempo.
Okay.
Great. We're going to try this in a minute. I'm just such a luxury that you don't have to find yourself in backing time.
It's great.
So just the next thing. So here, if I can talk also quite pedantically, the root chord, basically, is what's going on. Except you, Alexandra, decide is too boring, so you give it a decoration. So No more measures. We had a few too many measures.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And then here we've got this hemiola waltz. So I think that's a waltz that is half speed, holding you back because that's what you feel like inside.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Next thing to say, at the moment the rhythm is I think we have to get away from that. Could you say that text for me from In keine Kammer? Could you just speak for me like an actor, not in rhythm?
Sure. In keine Kammer leidet mich. Ich muss von
Go on.
I'm sorry.
Keep
Ich
going.
muss von einer Schwelle auf die andere. Ach, Trepp auf, Trepp ab.
Fantastic. So, if I'm right, and this I might be wrong because I'm not German myself, but I think you're saying I must go from one threshold to another, upstairs, downstairs, this constant movement. The ach is involuntary. And again, to be pedantic, it's a harmonic help. That ach is going towards auf. That's all that is. It's a little passing note of involuntary ach. So all of that, even though they're gaps, I have to know your thoughts going through.
Sure.
Now I'm going to stop talking and let you have a go at that. Is that okay?
No, I love it. Thank you so much. This is quite complicated music, so that's great.
Let's go from the beginning. By the way, just for ease of purpose, if my hand goes up, that means stop, and that means great. So
Great.
I'll try not to talk too much.
Okay, great. Thank you. Actually, I might make you bigger because we switched the room around today so that we had better balancing and lighting.
Great.
Okay.
That this old person can see. Here you go.
Ich kann nicht sitzen und ins Dunkel starren wie du. Ich hab's mir vorgegroß, es treibt mich immerfort herum im Haus. In keine Kammer leidet mich, ich muss von einer Schwelle auf die andere. Ach, trepp auf, trepp ab, mir ist es rief es mich, und nur mein Herz so stimmt ein Lebensweg.
Great. Thank you. Super. Now, the thing is, Alexandra, I think what happens with masterclasses, if I'm right, you do it once, it's new, you have to do things through, then you do it the second time, and automatically it's just way better because you're more comfortable.
Yes.
But whatever happened, that was for me lovely. Thank you. You did all those
No,
great...
that helped to shape the first phrase just as a good reminder of that really changes the way you sing it, I think.
Fantastic. And I love the lines you got around figure 76 were fantastic. Now I understood the gaps rather than thinking they were like singer's breath gaps. Super job.
Yes. Oh, good. Yeah, I feel like it makes more sense with the text as well. So.
Yeah, wonderful job. Now, can we carry on with the same idea? Could you talk to me? Because I think, I know it's still one extremely long sentence here, Trepp auf, Trepp ab, but I think there's a new half to the sentence. Could you carry on talking from mir ist?
Sure. Mir ist das rief es mich und komm ich hin, so stiert ein leeres Zimmer mich an.
Fantastic. So, it seems as if something's calling me, but when I go, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. So that those two halves balance each other. Mm-hmm. Am I right? Mm-hmm. So, could you say it for me now with a sense of balance? I do this, but that.
Mir ist das rief es mich und komm ich hin, so stiert ein leeres Zimmer mich an.
Yes, so she's going upstairs and downstairs and into every threshold simply because she thinks something's calling her. But when she goes, it's empty. So there's something in her soul which is feeling empty, which she's trying to process. Right. I think all good arias, all good music are a process of ideas. So you'll end up clearer than you were before, is the hope, with all these things. So again, that is the end of a sentence where it's a vast sentence over pretty much 2 pages.
Right.
So what I think I need to understand when you sing it, mir ist rief, that hemiola, rief es mich. Make sure that hemiola stretches out so I understand like bold font. Something's calling me. Okay, so keep it smooth but stretched. Very good. Going on. Would you mind speaking the next bit after 79?
Not at all. Ich habe solche Angst. Mir zittern die Knie bei Tag und Nacht. Mir ist die Kehle wie zu geschnürt. Ich kann nicht einmal weinen. Wie Stein ist alles.
Good. So exactly. So that by the all this description of your all this symptoms of your malaise are happening. Could you? Let's play a hippie game. Okay, this is the hippie game. It's a hippie game because there's no clear outcome. There's just exploration.
Okay.
Let's say that you're trying to explain your symptoms, and rather than having a list of them, we're trying to clarify. So I would say, for example, I'm so anxious, my knees tremble day and night. It's not that, it's this. It feels like my throat is tied shut. It's not that, it's this. I can't even cry. It's not that, it's this. I feel like I'm made of stone. So gradually she becomes clearer and clearer in her head about how she wants to describe herself. Is that fair? Please feel free to argue with me.
No, I like that because it I think we do think out loud as people, right, when we're processing something. So that makes sense to me that it's not just this clinical list of ailments.
Right. It's you trying to, like all of us as a human being, trying to clarify for yourself and the audience. Brilliant. So could you play the hippie game? You're welcome. You're welcome to speak in German, but I'd like you to say in English the phrase, "It's not that, it's this," which means I wasn't clear enough, I can do better. So it's not that, it's this.
Okay, sure. So
just for that patch.
I have such fear in me that my knees tremble both day and night. No, it's not that, it's this. I feel as if my throat has closed up. No, it's not that, it's this. I can't even weep. No, it's not that, it's this. It's like I'm made of stone.
Great. The danger is one becomes more angstful, but actually you should actually feel clearer. So it's like a clinical exercise on the build-up. So I don't want you to feel that you have to express more, but you do have to understand, I know what it is. I feel like I'm made of stone.
Okay.
That's
okay, great.
And you even get it with that, you get this stony chord, which is kind of pulling you back down here. Yeah, good. Yeah. So would you mind singing it now? And instead of clunky, it's not that, it's this, could you click your finger every time you think it's appropriate?
Sure.
You can try it either under tempo or up to tempo because of the luxury of a real live pianist.
Sure, yeah. Do you want to do pick up to 79, I guess? Is that okay? Sure. Ich habe solche Angst, mir zittern die Knie bei Tag und Nacht. Mir ist die Kehle wie zugeschnitten, ich kann nicht einmal weinen. Wie Stein ist alles, Schwester, aber Armen.
Great. So it's a good way of flushing out how quickly you have to have the thoughts.
Yes.
Because Strauss gives you no time sometimes in between them. So for example, I would practice going, ich habe solche Angst, mir zittern die Knie bei Tag und Nacht, mir ist die, etc. And then I think the final one that is, you know what you need is Schwester, hab Erbarmen. And that is the one that causes her to react. She's done nothing. She said nothing, even though she had lots of chance, but that's the one which gets her, at least for some reaction.
Okay.
Can we try that again? And just try for a stupid hippie exercise, the clicking as soon as those thoughts tumble, each one.
Sure.
Can we do it one more time?
Yeah, no problem. Ich habe solche Angst, mir zittern die Knie bei Tag und Nacht. Mir ist die Kehle wie zugeschnitten, ich kann einmal weinen. Wie Stein ist alles, Schwester, aber Armen.
Great. Super. Great. So of course, I mean, God knows I can't sing. I don't know how you guys do it. It's marvelous. But when you're up there, you still have to have a little bit of your brain deciding why you're singing what you're saying. Hab Erbarmen. You need to mean it. basically, in terms of the structure, is all you're singing. But because you're distressed, you get an enthusiastic F, which is an A flat. So you spin out that F minor chord. So that is a pull up of an F rather than shelves F A flat.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Love it. Okay. Great.
So to keep that good. Then
we've got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. Oh, it goes so fast. Then the thing she says is not what do you want her to say?
I want her to have pity. I want her to have heard me finally, you know.
So you want her to say, I'm so sorry, or of course, come here, give me a hug, something, right?
Right.
Okay. However, she says with whom?
Right.
Which is like a slap, I presume. It must feel so ghastly to be said.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? And that means you can then move to the next level of your discourse, which is, I think, directly to her now. Whatever you've been expressing now, you need to blame her. And it's, just speak that for me. Du bist es.
Du bist es, die mit Eisen klammert, mich an den Boden schmiedet. Wär's nicht du, sie ließen uns hinaus.
Good, that's enough. Let's just do those 2 sentences. So there's a breath, there's a gap there, but I don't think you should think of the breathing. Du bist es, die mit Eisen. You're trying to find Eisen klammern, aren't you? How best described? You hold us down like with iron. So du bist es. This is accusatory. Bist es, die mit Eisen. And then you've got these ti da di di. You basically, it's always that triad, which is the kind of Agamemnon thing. So insist on this D flat minor chord as you go through it.
Okay, great.
Spell it out, but it's basically one long rant on a D flat, just to say.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So can we try that? Just that before we stop. Can you go from Hab Erbarmen? Or any way you like. Honestly, up to you two.
Sure, that's great.
Great. Let's get that far because I know we have to stop soon. Here, very good, excellent. Figure 83. You basically should be singing Dein schlaflose unbändiges Gemut. That's the bass line. That is a little flourish, which is to do with the unrestrainability of unbändiges, if you like.
Right.
Something abandoned there. And then for sitzen, here, so ließen Sie uns ja Herz. It's so quick. See if you can find, there's a nice, and underneath you, there's pianissimo. We hope the orchestra would do that. See if you can find some spitting way of doing that.
Okay.
Or some reason to be pianissimo. Also, early so, early listen. So you give yourself a little more room there. Otherwise, you're going to have to be like a speeded up movie.
Great.
Just before we stop, can we just look at that bit?
Sure. Dein schlafloses. Okay.
That would be great.
Okay.
How about if I give you the lick before?
Sure.
Dein schlafloses unbändiges Gemüt vor dem Sitzen, so ließen du heraus aus diesem Kerker. Schwester, ich will heraus, ich will nicht leben.
Great. I'm so sorry, we're probably going to have to stop there. I'm very sorry to have to do that.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being so game. It was very lovely to work with you.
Thank you so much.
And again, thank you so much for the 2 of you, and thank you to the pianist. Really great.
Thank you to Mitchell.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Alexandra and Mitchell. Beautiful job. Our next singer today is Jennifer Carter. Jennifer, if you could unmute yourself and let us know where you are from and what you'll be singing.
Hi, I am Jennifer Carter. I'm in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. We good?
I've got a lot of static on the sound.
Seriously? Oh my goodness. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm going to disconnect my mic and reconnect it.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, try talking a bit more. I'm not getting any sound. No. Jennifer, let me see. Olivia, are you ready to sing right now by any chance?
I am good to go if you need me to go ahead and sing.
All right. Let me. Okay, Olivia, if you don't mind jumping in now, we'll try and get Jennifer's sound sorted out, and then we'll just switch the order.
Absolutely.
That would be very lovely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hi, I'm Olivia, and I will be singing Martern Arten from the Entführung aus dem Serail. Atem alle Horten,
gosh, really well done, Olivia. My goodness, it's a marathon, that piece. Have you done all the arias or just that one?
Just that one.
Just one. I mean, the poor girl, she's only just done the one before, which is super hard. Before she has to have an argument and then sing it again, sing this one. Super, really well done. There are a couple of things I'd love to talk about. Would you like me to stick only to interpretation, or are you happy for me to talk about any technical things? Totally up to you.
Whatever you want to talk about, we can work on whatever.
Okay. Just because I have questions, I'm not a singer, but there's some things I'm observing and I want to ask about that. Rather like the Strauss that people have been learning, there's a super angular line to her beginning. So I want to make sure, do you have anywhere in your room a scarf or a jumper or something? Anything? Could you go and grab something long like a scarf for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Super. So what I'm looking for, I'm hearing, I think, and it's over Zoom, so I'll have to be sure. I'm hearing your breath doing this. Dum, ba, bim, ba, bum, bum, ba. And I'm interested in seeing what happens if you go ti, da, dee, with your air. So in other words, your air is not in any way responsible for rhythm. Your text will do the rhythm. Your air just goes through like a zzz, or as people do any of those exercises. Okay, let's just try that one first, if you wouldn't mind, and I'll do this now side by side with you. So I'll bring you in and then I'll leave you be a cappella and we'll talk. Is that okay?
Sounds great.
So we've just had... Great. So, does that feel any different? Please don't please me. You're very welcome to say no.
It does feel a little bit different, yes. I find it a little more difficult to get from the high to low to the back up, but...
Good. Really good for that you say that. So I suggest... That's your line. So you in fact not having to drop down so low. And I bet you that the air will do it for you. You don't need to make shelves with your voice. Think of it more, instead of a shelf, sixth interval, think of it as a slope. Okay, so it's a slope, slope which you can spring up. The other thing I want to ask you about, as you come down your lines every now and then, I feel the support slipping a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, can we just experiment with something? Could you, this time before you start, instead of taking a throat breath, could you take an inhalation through your nose as if you're smelling a rose really deeply?
Yeah.
And then sing. I just want to hear what happens if you do that.
Okay.
When you're ready. Okay, how did the placement feel for you? I'm interested. Same?
Felt like I had the right spot and then I lost it towards the
Okay.
end of the phrase.
Only because by breathing into this space here, you will feel the soft palate and the tongue will be soft. There are various bits of setup where you can already be in the kind of pair of dark glasses slot for the sound you want.
Okay.
You know, in terms of what people talk about, the ping here rather than anything lower than your upper teeth.
Right.
Okay, so let's try that again. Could you this time just do, are you good at brrr?
Like
Wonderful,
vibrating it?
you're a natural. Can you sing it for me? Really good. Oh dear, something. Let's get rid of that. Really good, but I'm hearing already that you're taking gaps. I heard. Just see, all those lower notes are going to be your springboards. Keep the air going. Fantastic. Does that feel comfortable here?
Yes.
Okay, so I think you found a good slot there, and that was simply on constant air, not more air, not less air as you go, just same air. Like an eagle caught on the thermals. It just the thermals take you up, you don't have to do extra effort. Can we try that again? So this time, do it on the smelling the rose breath and keep the air going. Great, go on. quick question about that. I felt you did a big kind of suck breath, and I don't think you need anything that gargantuan. I think try another one that goes into this, and let's just see what that feels like.
Okay.
Super. You also have a gift here. The two M's, if you tune them, if you super tune on the M, the vowel will be in tune as well. So at the moment I'm hearing that the M's are slightly underpitched.
Okay.
Would you mind doing this for me? All on M. So the M is very soft on your mouth, teeth apart, tongue resting. Nothing tight in the tongue, but try that for me. So again, keep the air the same air. Again. Very nice. This time, to advance the exercise, just a long M on here. Good. And again, you got two more gifts. Use those, they'll super tune you. So could you give me my nava? So when you, I'm going to be very pedantic, but for a short amount of time. My, you got to return to the same C sharp, but on an N. Just give me that. Great. So you're already now matching. Before they weren't quite matching. Minor va on pitch. Great. Is that comfortable? You can keep on telling me if it's coming out. Good. So could you bear sing the whole phrase, just checking in on all those voice consonants to make sure that you're super tuning? Much better. Thank you very much. On you go. Good. Again, I feel like you're doing a kind of slightly tight breath. Can you take a relaxed breath? Good. On you go. Pretty good. Really well done. Super. How are you thinking the inner phrasing of those runs? What are your thoughts on those?
I'm definitely on the do you have the score?
I've got the score in front of me. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. On the third line, the very first measure, I'm taking those more separated.
Have you got a measure beat? I've got Baron writer. So have you got a measure number for me?
I don't.
Or just give me the text.
On the ich la, the da 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 da, that's all continuous and connected, and then the da 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 da, that's I do separated.
Good. Okay. So I could, first of all, I could hear that definition a bit more than you did. So this, as you come down, the strokes of like the bowing strokes of, and I would say it's not. The downbeats are never as interesting as the upbeats. So the energy comes from the beginning of the little hooks.
Okay.
Okay, if you can think about that. And then, so these are obviously, those are little way stations along the way through which you trickle. Okay. Can I hear that? And I'd like to hear, would you mind doing an irritating thing for me, irritating for you? Would you click on the gesture as you sing it? And then here, I would say it's the phrasing should be because you should be singing oh, she's going up. That was a surprise. Okay. Let me hear it. Very good. Super. What I'm after is, instead of going, I want to hear what it's like if you use the upbeats. You bounce, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Can you feel that? Can you imagine that? Yes. That's the gesture, the playful, or at least the mad, angry laughing. She's doing cross laughing, basically. So I would do cross laughing from the beginning of each little laugh. If that's okay. Then, by the way, do you need that breath? Ich la, ha. I don't think you need that. Can you try? Go see what happens. I think you've always got a little bit of air tucked under there. Go on, give it a go. Were you dying or was it okay?
I was okay. It's just something I'll need to get used to practicing.
If you can do that, because otherwise it doesn't make sense, that's all. So if you can, it would be brilliant. And keep steady here. I mean, I also noticed with the orchestra, it's a good idea if you start practicing a little bit with the metronome, so you don't rush. Those tend to otherwise...
The accompaniment track is a little bit slower than how I normally take
Yes. Honestly, you did so well with it. It's so difficult. But just sometimes if you're on your own, do it with a metronome just to be sure you can. Very nice. Let's go on. I'll play you in. Okay, so I have a question there. Why 4 times nichts?
So the way I'm interpreting it is like not a zilch nothing. So it's just like a reinforcement of like nothing is absolutely nothing is going to make me like change my mind.
Fantastic. I love that. So what I think I need to hear is harmonically. Nichts, nichts, nichts. That one is the most, it's the longest and the most short. So instead of taking all those breaths, I would invite you to try and take silence with the breath flowing through. Nichts, nichts, nichts. And then you can take a breath as an emotional one if you need it.
Okay.
Just try that for size. If you don't like it, it's no problem. Same thing again. Super. Can you make sense of what the orchestra has, which is forte, nichts, 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 forte sound of piano. So that give it a little bit of front and then go back down. Think of it as a mezzo di voce where you've got a little accent coming in and then you let it fall away. Duh. Okay. Nichts,
We've got just a couple minutes left. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Good, super. So in other words, what I'm looking for is one long line of thought. So I understand that you are building on your ire with him. Just because we don't have much time left, I think what's interesting about this piece, which keeps on flipping back and forth in the musical styles, is that she's either berating him or she's trying to win him.
Yeah. So
just remember, you're always trying to operate on him. It's not for you. It's to get an outcome. She's just said, I'm happy to die. He says, no, you won't die. You'll just have tortures of every sort. So you pick up his text and you say, tortures of every sort. I'll laugh at that. It's fine. So again, it's a continuation of something. Good. Let me just go into the slow bit. If we can just do a bit of that. I'll play you in. Dee-dum, dee-dum. Good. So even here, you should feel this, the root of this. Lass dich bewegen is basically the root. So that's almost like an implied question, please, won't you? So keep it really elegant. And let it carry on beyond this into silence. Okay. I'll play you again. Very nice. Remember that the word bewegen starts on the upbeat. So you need to start the word where it starts. Okay. So, what have you got there? Could you pick up that? Have you got a? Well, I can see a pot plant there. Can you pick up one of those pot plants? Yeah. No, but not yet. As you say the word bewegen. Or you may touch it as you say the word bewegen, but it's got to be on the b, not the downbeat. I want to get away from downbeats. Here we go, one more time. It's already better, but the energy of saying a word bewegen, I need you to caress your pot a little bit more with the word. It's still a bit generalized. I'm still feeling you going towards a downbeat rather than going with text. Okay. Brilliant. Do you feel that?
Yes.
It's not about stresses, it's not about anything like that. It's about saying the word as you mean it as it comes. Very nice. The second phrase. Super. Just before we stop, be careful here. I heard it also the first time. You've just done. Just watch your pitches there. Okay. There was just something slightly dodgy happened there. Very nice. When you do, what is that for? If it's on the word blessings, what is he doing the melisma on that for? Open question.
That should be desirable to you, and so it's, to me, it's like glittering gold almost.
Okay, fantastic. So make it, I love that. So make it something which is a gift for him if he can only earn it. Okay. Which means you map it out in the stars or something, so you get a real sense of line across the whole thing as a gift to him. Okay. Just try that before we stop. Great. So as you go low, you allow your imaginary in your head orchestra to go, to come. You almost, what I would say, you recruit the orchestra to do the job with you. So enjoy being the accompaniment part to the orchestra when that happens. Okay. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Thank you, Olivia. Brilliant singing. That was wonderful. We are going to take a 5-minute break now. I'm going to do another sound check with Jennifer. So I'll let you all take a break and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
No breaks for Julie?
No break for Julie.
Does it sound better?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Okay.
I think maybe it was just the connection.
Maybe.
Okay. If your settings are all the same, then that's great.
Okay.
Cool. All right, are we ready to go?
I'm ready.
Fabulous. All right, Jen, if you could let us know where you are and what you'll be singing.
Absolutely. I am in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, and I am singing more Mozart. I have Non mi dire from Don Giovanni. Sorry, 2 seconds. Troppo mi spiace allontanarti un ben, che lungamente la nostra alma desidera. Ma il mondo, oh Dio, non sedur la mia costanza, di sensire il mio cuore. cielo un giorno sentirò pietà di me, sentirò pietà di me, pietà di me.
Super, thank you, Jennifer. Great job. Thank you very much. And again, I must say congratulations for dealing with backing track while you do it. It's so hard, I know. So, and of course, loads of that stuff which is difficult will never occur when you're with a live orchestra or a live pianist. They will give you the room you need. So let's now do it, if you don't mind, a little bit a cappella, a little bit side by side. Is that okay? Super. Is there anything in particular you want to work on, because it's a long piece? Because I'll do what you want.
The breathing in the cabaletta is, I have tried like 17 different combinations and still haven't found the right thing. So if you have some magic up your sleeve, great.
Well, I don't know if I've got magic, but we'll have a little bit of a play in a minute. Just before we do that, let's just look at the recitative.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can help yourself by choosing where you go through in the lines. Could you speak to me? So he says to you, what, you're gonna make my pain worse by telling me of yet further delay? You're cruel. And you say,
crudele? Oh no, mio bene.
yeah, so you pick up what he's just delivered with you,
mm-hmm.
and then you have to say no. So I don't even know that you're already mad. You're just having to understand what you've heard, and then
mm-hmm.
I think is that, if I'm right, all the Da Ponte operas happen within 24 hours, all the action. So it's very soon for him to start nagging you about cheering up, in a way.
Well, and to talk about his pain.
Let's not even get into that. Let's not even start. Okay, so just correct him. Ah no. So let's just, again, he says to you, crudele, and you say,
crudele? Oh no, mio bene.
good. On you go.
Troppo mi spiace allontanarti un ben che lungamente la nostra alma desia.
Beautiful. So you see those little gaps in, if you've got the score there, in between ben and che, there's a little hair, cigarette paper's worth of rest, and there's one also after lungamente. And those can be seen as a little coding which says, in terms of the meaning of the sentence, we need ben and lungamente. Those things are both important to Da Ponte. So make sure, instead of stopping like it's counted out rhythms, make sure instead that you love up the word before the break, and then you can choose to go through. When there's punctuation, you can choose to stop, of course, but I wouldn't chop it up as much as that. Okay. So try again. Troppo mi spiace.
Troppo mi spiace allontanarti un ben che lungamente la nostra alma desia.
And what is that bene?
The to be married.
Right, exactly. So you exactly. So un ben che lungamente, and you also, it's rather nice, you say our soul. You know, so you have a sense of it. You are really reassuring him that you do mean it. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, good. Could you sing it for me? We'll do it bit by bit.
Troppo mi spiace allontanarti un ben che lungamente la nostra alma desia.
Good. Can you do it in one breath?
I don't know.
Give it a go.
Okay.
Just for fun.
Yeah. Troppo mi spiace allontanarti un ben che lungamente la nostra alma desia.
Sure, so you can choose, you can take a breath, that's not the problem. But what I like now is that you went through. It moves through, and that's reflected in the seventh. There's only one chord under you. I would go through that. There's no reason why you should be slow. Super. Then could you talk me this next little bit?
Ma il mondo, oh Dio.
So what were you going to say?
Sorry.
What were you going to say? When you say ma il mondo, you were going to do a sentence, weren't you?
Yes. Oh, the world, what would they say?
Great, okay, something like that. And then you interrupt yourself with a swear, basically.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Okay.
So can you try it like that? Ma il mondo.
Mm-hmm. Ma il mondo, oh Dio. Non sedur la mia costanza, desensibi il mio core.
Great. By the way, there's discrepancy. Baron write it as la mia costanza, but in fact, Castello and other people have said it's in fact la costanza del sensibile mio core.
Okay.
So just have a check. Just check with people what they want you to say there. Do what you're doing at the moment, but check. There is a doubt about that. And the word we obviously want to love up is costanza, because that is before the gap. Okay. La costanza del sensibile mio core. Super. Could you just sing that for me? You just done.
My mondo, oh Dio, non sedur la mia costanza, desensibil mio core.
I don't think there's a good enough reason for you to take such a gap. I would get on with it. Again, this is a dry recitative in the middle of this orchestral accompagnato, so you can move through.
Okay.
Let's go from non sedur.
Non sedur la mia costanza, desensibil mio core.
Okay, and I always struggle to translate this properly, but in fact the subject is love. Love speaks to me of for you, in other words, in your favor enough, sufficiently. So please know that I do love you. And you're then going on to say, you know how much I love you. Good. Now, if you like, we can now jump to cover a bit of the allegretto, and then we can come back if we have time. Show me about your breath. What's going on? I'm going to play you in and leave you be. Okay?
Sure.
So 2 bars in. So I have a quick question. Please say no if you disagree. Do you need to take a breath? I would rather you were out of breath than that you took a little breath which tanked you.
Okay.
Can we try that?
Okay.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Also, have you got a scarf or something there? I feel like you're holding your breath on the long notes.
Okay.
So show me what you can do with forse, etc. I'll play you in if I may. I know you're probably feeling like you're dying, but how were they? Were you dying? Or do you think you could work them in?
No. I think I can work them in.
I think with a live accompaniment, it's not going to be so stressy.
Yeah.
And I think try and see how you do, because I think taking too many breaths is disturbing.
Yes.
For your physicality, for your body. And if you can, rather go to the end of the breath and see what you've got, so you take really free breaths after that.
Okay.
It's worth trying. I much preferred the sound on. Bear in mind that the skeleton of that is forse un giorno cielo ancora, something like that. So when you go that is just a little Paisley curlicue of how you're feeling. It's not notes, I promise you. It's just it's your own improvisation. Have that feeling that it bursts out of that F rather than being measured in any way. Can we try that again? Do something for me. I'm going to play you in 4 bars. Could you breathe out the whole time and release just before you sing? So breathe out. Release. So, of course, you can take breaths, but if you practice those long ones, there won't be the sense of panic when you do it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I have my next question for you is, how are you thinking the melisma in bar 83? What are your shapes for that?
Sort of the wave and then up.
Good. I think if you want to think of little stations along the way it's shaped is one turn and then so it's the scales in between little turns. So then you get a little excitement. Rather than going towards main beats, it's more interesting if you can do that.
Yes. Okay.
Try that.
Okay.
So let me hear that. Do this for me. Good. So keep the air moving, of course, with that, but I want and return to exactly the same note. Good. Now, can you make sure this little trigger point here is really clean note? It's just skidding at the moment. Good. Give me. Exactly. Up and down like a little machine. Good.
Okay.
Good. And again, as we've said before, make sure this here has got nothing to do with any of that. It's super free. So, do you want to try to NG? Let me see what you've got. Good. You can sing every note. Take it a bit slower. Good. One more time. Excellent. Good. Now, and then do properly. Much cleaner.
Awesome.
Why? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. You're going to have to tell me. Why do you feel it's cleaner?
Probably because the jaw's not getting involved. I'm not trying to articulate with it.
Good. And by doing NG, I think when you lift the soft palate from NG, the tongue is resting as well. So there's just this kind of thin stream of air, jet stream coming across with the sounds attached. Beautiful. Could I have this?
Sorry, we've got 2 minutes left.
Thank you. I'd like you to do the same thing if you don't mind, Jennifer, in that rhythm on NG. Great. So in fact, for your brain to know that one, you need to know where that one starts. Try it again. Good. So I'll play it for you again. Those are just 2 turns. Let's hear what they sound like. Wonderful. Do that just 2 more times.
Okay.
So otherwise you're trying to think of rising an augmented fourth, which is too fussy. Rather think of it this way. And then. Great. So I know it's very pedantic, but if you can spend a bit of time training it up like that, it's going to be way more fuel efficient.
Okay.
Okay. So would you like to now go and then go like normal?
Okay.
Great. Honestly, I really feel that after about 2 minutes worth of work, it's already easier for you to do the first one. So if you can do a little bit of that careful work, slow, won't take long. Then I would say here, just musically speaking, new thought, new thought. So So instead of going with an octave jump, don't think like that. Rather, it's just a more graceful, more interesting way of doing it. And you'll have way more glee, I think.
I think that will be easier.
Yes, because it means you can also pop in a breath before those.
Absolutely.
So I would practice, I would do it that way, or musically that's what makes sense anyway.
Okay.
Again, here you can pop one in. If you need one, you can tuck one in there when you won't even hear it.
Wait, would you do those 8-note pairs articulated or legato all the way through?
I've got Baron Reiter, they asked for it to be in pairs.
Okay.
So don't go too desperately baroque on it, but just give that, it's really to do with how you want to ask for pity.
Yes.
And if you want to ask for pity in a certain way, it'll come out like that. And then a chromatic. There's so many ways of asking.
Sorry, I dropped my earphone.
I don't want to lose you. So just before, I know we got like no minutes left, but can you just have a think? I'm going to do one more time to be clear from bar 86. You could take a breath here. I wouldn't take an extra one, you don't need it, and then etc. So you can tuck them in there. Does that make sense? In terms of the last bit, do you know that you can take that last breath? Do you know you can do that underlay?
Yeah, that one I don't really need. That one I'm okay, I think.
Fine.
But
Very good. One other thing, little point of order. Upper note trill. At the moment it's an upper note trill. You made upper note trill on the beat. Because there is time. If it's very quick, you don't need to, but there's time for one there. Super. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
Really beautiful.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Gorgeous singing. Our next singer is Ashlee Lamar. Ashlee, if you could unmute yourself, let us know where you're from and what you'll be singing.
Hello, my name is Ashlee Lamar, and I'm coming from New York City, and I'm also singing Ich kann nicht sitzen, but with accompaniment track, so pray for me.
Ich kann nicht sitzen und ins Dunkel starren, wie du. Ich hab's wie Feuer in der Brust.
Gosh, really, really well done. You've studied that so well, and I cannot believe how you made the backing track your own. Super impressive. That should be, I would say, for the COVID times, that should be a special golden Olympic medals for people who can do it. It's so hard. Really, super job, Ashlee. Well done. Thank you. I don't know whether you were around earlier, and whether you want to go now from the middle, talking about the middle of the aria, or whether you want to start being up to you.
Yes, I was around earlier and I took some notes. So
great, thank you. No, that's great. I love you went. Your treibt mich immer fort. It really makes sense when you do those accents. It's great, really lovely. There's some lovely things. Just a quick note: figure 76 uses your pivot note in terms of tuning. Ich muss von einer Schwemme. That D flat. Really have that. Just that feeling there. So you really pin those D flats in. Because then you get that overall arc of it all. Very nice. Let's go through. We got to... Where did we get to? Oh yes, we got to listen. I'd like to go from somewhere like 84. You cheated that super well. So listen Sie uns ja has. I heard it very well.
Thank you.
Very nice. If you can reflect wie Stein ist alle, when you get just have that in the back of your mind as what you're trying to get her to understand.
Yes.
Is a stony dungeon inside you and outside you. Dungeon. Okay, let's go from there if you don't mind.
Yes.
I'm going to play and leave you be. Is that okay? That means you can do things in your own time, or do you rather use the backing track?
I would rather not use the backing track.
So we're going to go up a cappella. That means your timing is your own from now on.
Okay, are we starting right before 85?
I would like to start maybe from 83. It's going to be easier. Dein schlafloser.
Okay.
Dein schlafloses unbändiges Gemüt vor dem Zittern. Soll es uns ja aus diesem Kerker? Ich will heraus. Ich will nicht jede Nacht bis an den Tod erschlafen.
Okay, just there. I need to hear the implied harmony. I'll play something for you. I need to you hear that F sharp minor feel? Basically that. If you can hook into that, it's going to feel easier.
Okay.
Can I go from Ich will heraus?
Ich will heraus, ich will nicht jede Nacht bis an den Tod erschlafen. Ich sterbe, will ich auch leben.
Good, and just to be very pedantic, ich sterbe, that is going to shortly resolve to the B flat. So it needs to be banging as a decoration on the B flat to come.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So let me just hear that. In fact, you and I are going to play a horrible game, which is even more horrible on Zoom. Okay. I'm playing everything except the C flat and the B flat, okay?
Okay.
Good luck. Here we go. So just to be clear, I'm playing everything, but you have to sing me B and Ben.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You can't have any of the other bit. I'm
Yes.
having that. Okay, let's just try that. Beautiful. Do that one more time. Excellent. Fantastic. Put that together and see if that helps. Wonderful. And all of that is a socking great B flat 7 2 2. So that's why it also has to be super tight. So it's just leading us into the Kinder will ich haben.
Yes.
Can we put that together from bis an den Tod?
Bis an den Tod erschlafen, ich sterbe, will ich auch leben. Und will ich haben, bevor mein Leib verwelkt und für sein Maul, dem sie mich geben,
Here's my opinion. See what you feel. These B flats, which can happen, actually the whole line is bevor mein Leib verwelkt und wer sein Bauer. Everything is basically B flat with a couple of excited versions of the B flat. So can you make sure that you don't give me thousands of B flats, but you keep that flexible one B flat and you flex the language? Could you just tell me talk me the text from Kinder, please?
Speak it.
Yeah, please.
Kinder will ich haben, bevor mein Leib verwelkt. Und wer sein Bauer, dem sie mich geben, Kinder will ich ihm gebären.
Great. So you now know from how you said it, and you say it beautifully, how you want to flex it in order for the text to make sense, even just grammatically.
Yes.
So do that as you sing it as well. Don't just repeat the B flat.
Okay.
Kinder. Beautiful. Can you, you don't have to be nice to me now. Can you tell the difference?
Yes.
Okay. To me, it makes more line.
Yes.
When I listen to what I think are the best among them, like Deborah Voigt, the line is divine. It's bel canto line, but
Yes.
with all the everything Strauss would have wanted embedded in it. Really beautiful. Okay, I have another question. What is the point of giving me syncopations? Or instead, let's just take that out and give them to me on the beat. Just try that once, just for the feel of the non-syncope. So you would go, etc. Yes, one more time, just to feel as if it's actually meant to be on the beat.
Yes.
Just try that one more time. So now, I suppose her state of mind makes her come in early, basically, to make the syncopes. Can you interrupt the beat rather than it's just got a bit floppy. Da 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 da.
Yes.
So I don't want.
I think also because she's repeating herself, she often, when she comes in, all of her Elektras, all of her Schwesters are off the beat. So I think this is her, like, listen to me. Like,
wonderful. I love that. I love it. So stand your ground without giving any inkling that you know where the downbeat is.
Okay, yeah.
For you, the syncope is everything. Beautiful. Can we try that? From a place of your choice. Where would you like to go from?
We can just go from Kinder, if that's fine.
Super. I'll give you the... Great. Super, I love that. Very good. Now go on. So again here, I just want to sort out some chords. By the way, here, your root is the B flat. Mein Leib wärmen in kalten Nächten. And this time the little flips are happening not above the B flat, but below it. Yadadim, yadadim, badadida. That's you know what I mean. And then I need to hear that chord. And then all of this F minor feel. Feel that F minor hook that you've got, that you're safe in an F minor chord there. Let's go from und mit meinem. Good. So you should be just think of me in kalten Nächten. Just sing it for me. Yeah, one more time. To feel like that is what Strauss wrote.
Yeah.
Good. Now improvise. You did the right notes on that.
Okay.
Great. What does that feel like? I'm interested.
It feels easy. It's my brain. My brain doesn't want it to be that, but vocally it's easy.
Good. I want it to be bel canto easy on vocals, I have to say, because that means you can do this easily, and you can do it easily. And that means otherwise I tend to hear people have been learning with the piano a lot, so I hear shelves like piano playing, and I want to hear trombone sliding with other slides, so that it's really a tube you're working with.
Yes.
Very nice. Let's do that one more time, and we'll go on. Yes. Great. Armes Geschöpf. Good. So everything there, to be very pedantic, is G minor, G minor, G minor, and then you get to this. There's that important that you're spelling into that chord there with the mir. Okay. Again here, you should be singing Hab Mitleid mit dir selber und mit mir. That's basically what you're spelling. Can you do that version of it? Hab Mitleid mit dir selber und mit mir. Something like that.
Hab Mitleid mit dir selber und mit mir.
So any version of that. I just want to get you away from what's written, so when we return, it's fresh. One more time. Hab Mitleid mit dir selber und mit mir.
Hab Mitleid mit dir selber und mit mir.
Wonderful. Take it away.
Hab Mitleid mit dir selber und mit mir. Im frommsten solche Qual.
Good. So in a way, I think this chord that belongs. Have pity on yourself with me. This benefits no one. So I think he keeps the chord all the way through. Then you just enharmonically change, but you keep the same pitch to say, for me, I don't know if you feel the same. I feel here, there is no point in this. He's dead and so is he.
Yeah.
It's not as if you've decided, or maybe it is. Do you think it's because you've decided to say the words out loud, or because you're trying to say it's just no point?
It's just no point.
Great. So then see if we can link it somehow. I see the orchestra does this molto crescendo. There's a nice way if you can somehow control the orchestra into backing off so that you can explain clearly. He's dead. He's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you
Sorry,
like-
we've got just a minute or two left.
Okay, thank you. Where would you like to go from, Ashlee?
Should we go from the Wim Front then?
Beautiful. I'll give you the chord before.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
Whenever you're ready.
Wim Front den sollte kommen. Der Vater, der ist tot. Der Bruder kommt nicht heim. Immer sitzen wir auf der Stange, wie angehängte Vögel.
And just in case it's interesting, it's a bit swatty of me to say this, but in case it's interesting, as I listen, I'm reminded when you listen to the drums going boom, the percussion. There, when you go the alle Stein, it's the same thing. You get these block chords. So this is reminding yourself of your caged dungeon life.
Yes.
And it's we are going to get that too when we get this boom. That feeling, yeah. Immer. Okay, just to super tune you. A major, basically. So we get an A flat. Just have a feel of that. Immer. Great. So he takes you through those little three chords twice in this rather monotonous way, because that's what's happening to you day after day. The same three chords in your head. So I need you to link up. Take a breath by all means, but you need to connect the thought.
Okay.
Just before we finish, can we do that? Immer. So just quickly to ask you, could you speak this for me? From Kein Bruder.
Kein Bruder, kein Bote. Oh, I'm sorry. Kein Bruder, kein Bote von dem Bruder. Nicht der Bote von einem Boten.
Nichts.
Nichts.
So to back up on, I don't know whether you heard us playing the hippie game before, but with the hippie game, it's not that, it's this. Not a messenger of the brother. It's not that, it's this. Not even a messenger of a messenger. Nothing. So build it up. I slightly argue with your breath there. Somehow I need the corner after kein Bote von dem Bruder. If you want to take a breath there, that's fine. Nicht der Bote von einem Bruder. But if you can go through, then that would be nice.
Okay.
Just to show the length that you add to the lack of news.
Okay.
See what I mean? Can we just do that quickly? I know I'm late. I'll be a second.
Kein Bote von dem Bruder, nicht der Bote von einem Boten. Nicht.
Yes. So the final one is nichts.
Yes.
It's not that's what we're heading for. I'd better stop there. I'm so sorry to have to stop. Thank you very much. You're terrific. Really great. Thanks. Lovely to work with you.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Ashlee, brilliant work. Thank you so much. Thank you for singing. We're going to take, actually, if we can take a little bit shorter break, we'll be perfectly on time. Let's take about 4 minutes and we'll be back here with Brittany.
Sorry, Julie.
Oh, you're fine. It's all good. All right, are we ready? Hi, Brittany. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let us know where you are and what you'll be singing.
Hello, I'm Brittany Walker, and I am in the mountains of New York State, way up in the Adirondacks right now. And I'll be singing Condotta, ell'era in ceppi from Il Trovatore by Verdi.
Sento drizzarsi a con
Thank you very much, Brittany. Well done. Terrific piece. Super. Okay. Tell me how you think. Oh, actually, let me do the other way around. Would you mind speaking it to me as an actor? And we'll do it bit by bit. I think what you're doing is great, but we can, I think, find some more light and shade, if that makes sense. Yeah. There's a hell of a lot of articulations and dynamics within the Verdi that we can use for you, first of all, to take it easy every now and then, and also to find the storytelling as you would like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Super. So, could you do it, first of all, just speaking in Italian like an actor, so no rhythm.
Condotta, ell'era in ceppi. It's weird not singing it.
No,
Condotta, ell'era in ceppi, al suo destin tremendo. Col figlio sulle braccia, io la seguia piangendo.
Super. So that is the first full stop. Okay, we'll go sentence by sentence. It was nice you said that, because you flushed out something for yourself, which is that you're used to taking a breath after ceppi. But if you do it like an actor, there is a link going all the way through, just in terms of thought. So would you mind translating that for me? Is that okay?
She was brought forth in chains to her terrible destiny. Mm-hmm. With my son in my arms, my child in my arms, I followed her crying.
Mm-hmm. Good. Super. So now I'd like you to sing it. I'm going to play, so you don't have to use the backing track. And I'm going to leave you a cappella, but I'd like to hear the connection. Also, to be super pedantic, I'd like to hear the difference between the accent on the forte ceppi and then the piano. Some of your delivery will become clearer just by doing the accents, because you're as you tell Manrico all this stuff, obviously you are very distressed, and that will all come through simply in the writing. You won't even have to do anything above that. Just do the Verdi. That's okay. I'll play you in, if I may. Already way better. Thank you. Super. Have a little look there. I would say if you see the phrase mark starts from Condotta, make sure you don't give me two A's. It's just one with the word beginning at the upbeat. See where I am? I'm hearing Condotta, but I should hear Condotta, one word.
Yeah.
So in other words, no bar line there. And then look at after ceppi, you have to do an eighth note, and at the moment you're quite long on it.
I do like to hang on to things, yeah.
So let's be as strict about when we stop the note as when we start the note.
Okay.
Just for laughs. I mean, of course you can then do what you like afterwards, but just to flush out some stuff, it might be useful.
Oh.
Same thing again, if you may.
Did I hold on to it too long again?
Well, have a think. It's much better, but I want to see if you are. Why don't you just be super pedantic, machine accurate, and see what that feels like, and then we can always adjust that. Is that okay?
I'll just stare at it.
So if I show you what I mean, by the time ceppi, by the time I play that note, you should be off.
Yep.
So that'll come through the texture. Mm-hmm. Again. Much better. Okay, so let's add yet another layer. If you look at your score, all you have at the beginning, I'm sort of watching, you've got piano. Subito forte, ti, dum. Next time, same thing, ti. Now with col figlio, you suddenly get one of these.
Yep.
So enjoy that. Sulle braccia. And also you're going above your previous tessitura, so something else is going on. And then pianissimo. So this having expanded your phrase, you pull back and you give a little response phrase. So then we get this nice shape of the phrasing.
Okay, gotcha.
Can we have from col figlio? Great. I would say that was like you went down to piano. See what it's like if you go down to pianissimo with your lovely voice. Also, for my money, braccio. Take a breath, but come in on the same E you've just left. So you don't make a new note. You just do a pianissimo version of the same note. Colfi, very nice. And again, it's not colfi, but it's para. So I would join colf. Let the air go through all your consonants gently so that we get that good legato. Colfi.
Colfi, colfi, sulle braccia, io la seguo piangendo.
Beautiful. And final thing, you should be singing la segue piangendo, but because you're weeping, piangendo, that's just a weeping version of 1A, if that makes sense. So there's a real shape on it. Very nice. I want to nag some more because I like nagging. Just thinking about your voice consonants, you can use them better. Col figlio sol. There, make sure you do the double L by doing sol. You can join the notes with some L. See if that feels good for you. Col fi, col fi.
Col figlio sulle braccia.
Good, let's go on.
I'm still really not pianist. I'll keep working on that.
Play with it because it's just more interesting. I find generally he has far more dynamics always in there than anyone ever uses, and it's a pity because it's part of the texture, it's part of the beauty of it. Let's go on. Infino.
Okay.
Interestingly, though I'm never much of a one for big scooping, he's given you one here. He's given you a portamento. You see that little tie within the word infino. So I would do a little one there. Infino, to have the sense of at last. Infino.
Infino son vargo
Very nice. I have a quick question. I need to know that your airflow is going through all of that without stopping. Do you prefer brr, brr, brr? I don't care. Which do you prefer? That's my favorite. That's my favorite one. Can you do it? Very nice. Okay, so what's occurring to me is that as you're doing it now, because you're driving quite a lot of air onto varco, actually the pitch is going slightly sharp.
Okay.
See if you can take the same smooth air all the way through. We don't change air pressure. Nice and smooth. So keep the air going. Very interesting. Do it again. Excellent.
I really don't want,
So it was something one of my the other colleagues who's doing a beautiful masterclass that I was watching with the dramatic voices, who spoke about the fact that The air will support you, but it has to keep moving. You can't stop it at any point. It's no help at all then. So the support basically is just good flow, good gentle airflow.
Yeah.
So can you do that again?
Yeah.
I think what happens is as we go down, we tend to let go instead of keeping it the same. Try one more time. Beautiful. Yeah. Next one. Great. So yeah, exactly. Now, with that sense, do you feel anything in your body that is supporting you more? I'm just interested. You can say no. You're welcome to say no.
Well, I feel my body trying to fight and cling in my abs.
Aha! How interesting.
Yeah.
Shall we try just for fun some, do you mind to try some bad dad dancing? Do you remember what that is? For anyone who doesn't know, from the English version of bad dad dancing, it's chaotic and from the hips. No order in it at all. Just, I want to see if you're gripping. Let's just try that.
Thank you. Remember this, yeah. Well, just tongue, not nuts, not the words.
No, just that again. Just to see if you're still gripping. Anything to report?
Less gripping.
Good. So I think that just means that these are trying to help you by tightening for you. But in fact, that's only going to get in the way of the airflow. So if you can imagine that you are constantly, okay, you can't spend your life doing bad dad dancing, but you're in balance here, and you could move if you need to do it at any point. So that this whole lower back, everything is really nice and free. It'll help the air. So here's the next suggestion. Start with bad dad and then slowly bring it into just being in balance, if that's okay.
Okay. Infino nessun varco tentaimo in vano aprirvi in vande misero firmarsi dirvi.
Terrific. How does that feel?
A lot easier than what I was doing before.
Okay, so it just is a little diagnostic. So everyone play with that you're never locked anywhere, basically. It's an obvious thing to say, but it's good to check. Especially in these kind of situations where you poor people are online in a small room. Just keep that air flowing and it's going to all be easier. For me, actually, I'm getting if it's true on my headphones, I'm getting a rounder sound as well. Brilliant job. Can we go on?
You've got about 3 minutes left.
Thank you very much. So, I would like then, in that case, Brittany, just to have a little look at this next bit. You've got so many so many articulation points and dynamics. Let's have a look at it.
Oh man, I really wanted to lock right there.
So, okay, let's talk about that. That's a very interesting thing you just said. I think when you see a note up here as a mezzo and you see accent, and you see something important, then all you're going to do is try and force it. And what you actually need is a bit of bad dad and actually a sense of sighing. I know this is not very helpful for me. I should know better technology of how to do this, but I'm going to show you this very beautiful page of a chart of messa di voce, which was made by somebody. I'll just show you to the screen, Brittany. It was made by somebody back in the early 1900s. Basically, those messa shapes with the idea that every note you have, nothing stays the same, everything lives. So for example, I would say this one here is the accent on the E flat. So that means you come in gently, you bloom the note, and then you come away.
Yeah.
So you're never kicking, you're never digging, you're always blooming, blossoming, if that makes sense. Can we try that? Feel free to do bad dad dancing when you're ready. Super job. Any easier?
Yeah.
Okay, great. It's worth playing with that so that you really know that no biffing is ever going to help. Tempting though it must be. Can I just look at this? You've got this repeated E. So basically, if I use my picture that I showed you right now, I would say, let me just see if we can do it like this. I would say it's something like one of these. So you're blooming on one E natural with a sense of like, I don't know if your dress is jersey knit, but if it's like elasticity, just a little bit of rather than repeating notes.
Yeah.
Can we try that?
Okay.
Super. Because it also means you won't let go of the air. Just for me before we stop, can you do a...
On the rogo, okay.
Just to show me, and just imagine the stretching of the jersey knit material. Super. Did you feel more engaged? I'm out of interest.
I'm trying to... It feels like... My problem is I over-engage, so it feels a little less engaged.
Okay, in which case I take that. Thank you for telling me. Great. It should just be a very gentle reassurance that all is good, and that you could wiggle if you needed to at any point. Let's do it. Let's just, before we finish, can we now sing that? That was excellent. So you just keep on stretching the same piece of material. Al rogo. One more phrase just for laughs. Very good. Just a quick hint there. As you go down, remember to super tune on your L and your M. Skla, mo. You're just underpitching the M. Give me skla and then stop on the M. So you get the M resonating. Try that again. Skla. Beautiful. Now open it up. Sklamo. Fantastic. It's a very easy way and non-invasive way to do proper tuning. You can use it all the time on N, M, L, R, Z. Any of the voice consonants will do that for you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Terrific job. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Brilliant singing, Brittany. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Our next and last singer for today is Wendy Silvester. Wendy, if you could unmute yourself and let us know where you are and what you will be singing.
Hi, I'm Wendy Silvester. I'm in the UK and I'm going to be singing Fenena's Prayer from Nabucco.
Thank you.
O dischiuso il firmamento, al Signor lo spirito anela, e Maria cento e cento, cari eterni
There's a little bit of Elektra going to happen after that.
It's a nice ending to the aria.
Really well done. Thank you, Wendy. Super. Great job. What do you want to achieve in this aria? Open question.
So this is reasonably new to me, but I recently jumped in for a concert workshop performance in London. I was covering the role and jumped in and actually loved the whole role and felt like this is really, it's a good fit for me. But the aria feels like it grows, every phrase grows and grows and grows. So by the time I get to that high A at the end, I feel like I'm stuck somewhere and I can't do what I want with it. I want to be able to kind of pianissimo in and then crescendo through, and I feel like I'm just stuck and I have to just sing to get the note to come out, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
I'm sorry, you're muted.
Sorry, here I am. Some of that will go away when you don't have a backing track, because you have every right to go. Honestly, you can take a ton of time there.
Yeah. Okay.
There'll always be a good way of doing that. I promise you. That's what all the baritones and basses do. Why can't you do that as well? Yes. But we'll get to that in a minute. For me, this is a super useful aria if you really want to just boot camp legato and sense of direction over many lines. It's only 2 pages, but I think it's quite tough for that. So let's look at that. Now, there are a couple of hippie games I quite like to play with you, but let's just think now. Could you first, one quick question, good news or bad news? Is it a good news aria or a bad news aria?
It's good news by this point. Although she's being murdered, essentially, she's okay with it. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I think is so great about it. It's a great elegiac, ecstatic aria.
Yeah.
Which is worth keeping the energy of the ecstatic I can't wait thing. Really.
Yeah, okay.
Good. Could you speak it to me in Italian like an actor, so not with any rhythms?
Dischiuso il firmamento.
Quick, what is the first word for?
Oh, it's her. Yeah, it's her expression.
Oh, I mean, it's just, you've just seen it. Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Speak.
Dischiuso il firmamento, al Signor lo spirito anella.
Anella, one L, hey?
Anella.
Yeah, oh good. Which means?
My spirit, anella.
Not quite. So, towards the Lord.
For the Lord, my spirit.
My spirit yearns.
Yeah.
Anella. Mm-hmm.
Anella.
I only say that because you've got this that yearning third up is part of the deal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you go up, go on, translate.
E m'arride e cento gaudi eterni a me disvela.
Could you translate for me?
He smiles on me, and hundreds upon hundreds of joys eternal reveals to me.
And they are in real form. What do you think? What do you reckon?
The rewards of heaven.
Yeah, I think they might be the stars.
Okay.
I think that's what, because she starts to talk about it. I think she goes, bam, stars.
So she's seeing the stars, and the stars.
Yeah, that whole idea that the firmament is the mantle.
Yeah.
With the lights on the bottom of the Madonna's gown, so that there's that sense of holiness going up or something. There's a big old picture in that. Good. So, go on for me. Sorry. What's the first word?
Splendor degli astri addio. Me di luce irradia Dio.
So the thing is, what's interesting to me is you're saying goodbye to the stars because
the light from heaven, the light of the gods, is already being offered to me.
Yeah, so you're going to go above the stars. Basically, what you're saying is I'm off above them. Very nice.
So
the sense of constantly rising to something better. Lovely.
Yeah.
Me di luce, please, from there.
Me di luce irradia Dio.
So if I was to do the schoolroom version of that, subject, Dio irradie me di luce.
E Dio irradia me di luce.
Yeah, just do that one more time. So kind of subject, verb, blah, blah.
Yeah.
One more time.
Dio irradia me di luce.
Di luce, exactly. Wonderful. So do it now the way it's written.
Me di luce irradia Dio.
Wonderful. So that means we're heading towards the subject. Poetically, that happens so much in all our arias that we get the take home happens at the end of the phrase.
Yeah.
So we don't drop it, in other words, never drop the end of the phrase.
Okay.
Very good. On you go.
Già dal fral che qui ne impiomba, fugge l'alma e vola al ciel.
Good. Just unpick that for me. Translate that for me.
So already the body that here is soaked in lead, weighted, held down.
I don't know. Is it the body or the soul?
Già dal fral, I translated fral as body.
Isn't that from the earth? Fral means the fral.
Okay.
I think that means the kind of the bottom bit, the earth. That here is, or maybe it probably is. You mean the body? So already the body that is like the coffin.
Okay. Yeah.
With trapping the soul, and now the soul is able to flee. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
Right.
now. It's already. She feels it's already flying to heaven. It's not that she's even got to face the execution. She's already gone. So.
It's all good. It's all, in fact, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like if you ever have done the song Strauss's Morgen.
Yeah.
It's done a lot sad, and it's everyone feels sad, but actually it's all good news if you look at the text.
Yeah.
It's always let the audience weep while you rejoice. I think that's always
it's
the
more heartbreaking because of
Yeah.
how excited she is and how joyous she is about
Yeah.
this movement. It's more
absolutely.
heartbreaking.
I believe so. I think that's a very good thing to say. So let's not do it. I'm going to ask you to do a hippie exercise if you're up for it. Have you ever done archery?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it when people have done archery. So you know what to do. That's fantastic. Okay. So I've never done archery in my life.
Okay.
But this is what I believe happens. I believe you're either drawing the bow or you're shooting. And then,
Yeah.
is that true? Loading again.
Yeah.
That's marvellous. I'm so excited. So I'm only going to offer you, because now you know what you're doing, I'm going to ask you to do archery during the phrases. I won't stop you. And it means that you have to find the point at which you have to release the arrow.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a hippie game, so I say no more. Okay, here we go. Let's see how that feels.
Okay.
I'm going from the beginning. Beautiful. Already way better. You get much more line already.
Okay.
I would like you not to drop. I don't want you to release the arrow on a downbeat. I want you to wait till the end of the phrase. Firmamento. Bam.
Yeah. Okay.
Audience, get that arrow. So it's the thought arrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Do it again. Same thing. Excellent. So I have a quick question, a point of order, which I know is pernickety because you're jolly good at this game. I would say e maride, point, e 100 gari eternia me disvela.
Yeah. Yeah, it could split there.
So think about that. It gives you a little pop of energy, but you still keep this amazing legato. It doesn't mean you have to lose legato. Otherwise, anything occurring to you, how does it feel?
Definitely, like, I can feel that line carrying through, like it's there in my body instead of just in my arms that I'm moving.
What I'm loving is because you obviously know as an archer that you have to keep it with your nose level. So that means in a way your tuning is better because you have this sense of suspension of the line and your body is working physically. Very nice. Very good job. Just try that. E maride. E cento e cento.
E maride, e cento, gari
Oh, thank you so much, because now you made total sense of the gaps, but you kept the thought going.
Okay.
Because you're obviously very natural at this whole archery business, I can tell, because it never occurred to you to stop the bow. The bow is carrying on. It's a bit like the scarf I was talking about earlier. That means your breath throw is going all the way through. Very nice.
Yeah.
Just do it again. Oh, splendor. It would be fun, because now you're obviously PhD level. What about a melee? Oh, splendor. Just for fun.
Okay.
So the gets its own special thing. Just why not?
Oh, splendor degli astri addio, che di luce irradia il Dio.
Ah, great. So even though you come down, this tension does not stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, we are going to subconsciously lose interest in you because you've let us go. As someone said a brilliant thing the other day. They said, "Never leave the audience alone."
Okay.
If I listen to people, I don't like Leontine Price, various people, they never leave us alone. We cannot stop but follow them because they are taking us all the time.
Yeah.
Don't let us off the hook ever. That's really great. Great job, Wendy. I want to do it again. Me di luce. Keep that spin on luce. Keep the airflow.
Okay.
Do you take a breath there?
I have been doing with the track, and now I've like kind of learned that breath in, but
You may not. You don't need it. Now that you're flexing so well the text, you don't need it. Don't do it. It's not going to help you. Do it again. Great job. Okay, I have a question. What would it be like if you went già dal fral che qui ne me piomba e fugge nell'alma, point, fugge l'alma e vola al ciel?
Yeah.
To me, that means you are improving the description rather than doing a kind of a breath arrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we try that? For you, Wendy, forgive me for stopping in the middle there like that. I don't see how that breath is helping you.
Okay, I previously haven't been able to come in on the A if I connect it, so...
Can we see what happens? Do you ever practice I can't remember when you worked before. Do you ever practice NG?
Yeah.
Can you give me just that? So let that F live where it needs to. Don't put it anywhere. So you're going to start feeling that it's going to be just kind of beady around here. Add a little bit of complaint, a little bit of lost kitten in a cave.
Okay.
So that is the one I believe. Let's see if I'm right. Which can go even more complaint.
Okay.
Try that. Keep a nice loose throat. So that's less air pressure, I think, than you were using before. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's to do more with the complaint and the ha 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 in your throat. You know, they call it wedding tears. You're laughing, but you also cry because it's lovely.
Yeah.
So if you can try that. So just give me just an your favorite vowel. I don't care. But with that sense of complaint over here. Great. How does that feel?
It's a much smaller place than I was finding before.
Good. To me, it sounds a lot more consistent.
Okay.
And it's certainly not quieter.
Okay.
I mean, it's in other words, what I mean by that is it's in the same realm.
Yeah. It's
so
where I want
one more time like that.
Okay.
Just with the same feeling. Good. And even imagine in your head, if you wanted to, you could trill it. So there's also a rim above it, imaginary rim above it, okay? Mm-hmm. Now let's try this. But don't sag from that beautiful rise. Don't drop down. Stay where you are. Great. So do you want to put text to that? Okay. The main point about that is don't, I shouldn't say don't. Try to make sure that the jaw is just as relaxed, nice and dangly, and the vowels are super close to each other. You don't have to change position in your mouth. Fugel, and the L is flicked. Off you go. Give it a go.
Okay.
I think that's better than taking a breath, because I think if you take a breath, you're going to hoik it, and that's going to be harder.
Yeah.
And what I was showing to Brittany, I'm going to show it to you again as well. When you get up onto that, I know what you want to do on the A. I would say get there first and make one of these shapes, okay?
Yeah.
So get there, bloom it, and then come back, rather than trying to do something too dramatic. One more time. I know. Yes, I'm going to be very quick. I'm going to stop now. But can we try that one more time? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when you start again, I would take a nose breath so you're in the right position in again.
Okay.
Super. It just means you reset yourself. Otherwise, you're going to start from a slightly low position when you come back in on that breath.
Yeah.
Great job. Wendy, thank you so much. It was a great job.
Thank
lovely,
you.
lovely archery. Very impressive. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, everyone, thank you so much. And Caroline, especially, thank you so much for joining us this evening or morning, depending on where you are.
It's such a pleasure.
An absolute pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you, everyone, for all your hard work. And you're so giving and available for silly exercises. Thank you very much. Great.
Thank you. Thank you, especially. Thank you, Alexandra, Jennifer, Olivia, Ashlee, Brittany, and Wendy. Brilliant singing, wonderful work. And we will see you all on Tuesday for our next masterclass.
See you then. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.